Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you, my dear friends, are in the Prog Corner. Welcome. Today, we are going to do something that an idea I stole from the Canadian stud muffin, the great Larry Graves. I'm doing the first 10 bands that I fell in love with. Great idea, so I thought I'd steal it. I do have my air conditioner guy here today, so my dogs are freaking out every time he's making noise. So you're probably going to hear some barking in the background, but who cares? It's all good. Yeah, I am giving Larry Graves credit here because I get sick and tired of thinking of these really good ideas for episodes, and then a couple days later I go on YouTube and I see, a whole bunch of videos stolen from my idea. Hey man, I don't care, just give me credit, man. Anyway, yeah, I was a little kid, and yeah, you know how that goes. Certain bands, when you're a little kid, just really get you excited. These are the first 10. Well, actually, this is the Prog Corner, man. You know how we do. The first 12 bands that I fell in love with. And wouldn't you know it, the very first one, I'm doing this chronologically. It's the Beatles. Of course, it's the Beatles. I grew up listening to them. I love them. Yeah, ever since they discovered LSD, they got real good, real fast. I love Rubber Soul. I love Revolver, Sgt. Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour, the White Album, Abbey Road, Let It Be. I love all that stuff, man. The Beatles were awesome, the greatest band ever. Maybe. I don't know. I love them. My second band I fell in love with shortly thereafter. I guess it was the times. You got to have the Rolling Stones in there. I was a big Brian Jones fan. I love all that early stuff, Between the Buttons and Aftermath and Flowers and To Their Satanic Majesty's Request and all that. Just a cool band. They even put out some good stuff after Brian died. Stuff like Let It Bleed and Goat's Head Soup and Sticky Fingers and Exile on Main Street. What a great band. You know who they are. You love them too, don't you? At number 3, the third band I fell in love with was Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. Yeah, I was probably way too young to be listening to Frank Zappa, but that's the kind of household I grew up in. Yeah, Weasels and Hot Rats, and We're Only in It for the Money, and Absolutely Free. Those albums were part of my childhood. I just loved Frank Zappa. I loved the Mothers of Invention. Just so great. I don't know what a 6-year-old kid was doing listening to that kind of music, but shortly thereafter, I knew about The Who, but then Tommy came out, what an amazing record. It just changed my whole perspective on what a rock band could do, the whole rock opera thing. Yeah, Tommy really got me going. I knew who The Who was. They had a couple hits in the U.S. I Can See for Miles preceded Tommy, and that was a pretty big hit. But man, when Tommy hit, this little kid definitely wanted to learn every single lick that Pete Townsend played on that record. Just amazing. And then 4 years later, Quadrophenia even topped it. Oh man, what a great band. I love The Who, always loved The Who. And then I fell in love with a band from America called Chicago. Chicago Transit Authority, the second album. Man, I was hooked. I was such a big fan of those two albums. Chicago 3 came out. I loved it. Man, the live album was all right, but then Chicago 5 hit, man. Finally a single album from Chicago, and it was amazing. Chicago 6 was good. Chicago 7, jazzy, very fun record. I even like Chicago 8, but that's about as far as I go. My fandom stopped there because I was finding out about some other bands. The 6th band I fell in love with from Canada, it was the Guess Who, man. Oh, yeah, these guys don't get any credit at all. Burton Cummings might have the greatest voice in the history of rock and roll. Randy Bachman, obviously great on guitar, left the band in 1970 to form the Bachman-Turner Overdrive. And they're still going strong with Gary Peterson, the original drummer, still keeping the band going. But man, Wheatfield Soul and Canned Wheat in 1969. And then in 1970, American Woman and Share the Land. Just incredible, those 4 albums. And then in 1971, they put out that Best of Guess Who. You can't go wrong with that. It's up there with Bob Marley, legend as far as the greatest hits album ever. I just love it. And then the 7th band I fell in love with Led Zeppelin, man. My dad came home with the first three albums. Like back in 1970. So I really gravitated towards Led Zeppelin 2. That was the one I really dug. But then that fourth album came out, man, and forget about it. I was a fan for life. House of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, Presence. I love them. I even love In Through the Outdoor. Led Zeppelin, one of the greatest bands of all time. And I fell really hard for them. I really did. Next up, the eighth band I fell in love with. Yeah, my older brother came home with this double album. It had a black cover and it said Mark, Don, and Mel on it. Yeah, it's Grand Funk Railroad, Detroit's greatest export. Man, early Grand Funk Railroad was so good, so underrated. And that Mark, Don, and Mel album, man, I must have wore the grooves out of all four sides of that thing. Just love it. I love the later stuff, the Rundgren produced stuff, and they became a four-piece and started having like radio hits, but who cares, man? Grand Funk Railroad, so good. Mark Farner, you need to, kiss and make up with Mel and Don. We need a reunion tour, just one last go-around. Not going to happen, but that would be amazing. The ninth band I fell in love with, again, having an older brother was just fantastic. So number 9 and 10 were pretty much from the same event, and that was in 1975. My brother came home for winter break from university, and he had with him a cassette tape that had all of one album on one side, one of those Memorex C90s, and then the B side had another one. On the A side was Yes, Fragile. So Yes was the ninth band I fell in love with, and I have been a lifelong fan ever since that day that I put that cassette on, put the headphones on. I'm listening to Steve Howe, playing a nylon string acoustic. I'd been learning how to play classical guitar. I'd been taking lessons since I was 5. So it just really clicked with me. And big shocker, all these years later, Yes, it's still my favorite band. But the B-side of that cassette was the 10th band that I fell in love with. And it had Tarkus on it, man. So Emerson, Lake, and Palmer comes in at number 10, the 10th band I fell in love with. I loved it. I got the first album right after that. I picked up the budget-priced Pictures at an Exhibition and Brain Salad Surgery. For some reason, I got Trilogy last of those first 5 albums, but it's not last in awesomeness, that's for sure. But Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, man, just one of the greatest bands of all time. You know it, you love it, and I'm not stopping at 10. The 11th band I fell in love with, Pink Floyd. I had heard some stuff before by them, but when Wish You Were Here came out, that's when I realized this is a fantastic band. I like Dark Side of the Moon. Everybody liked Dark Side of the Moon, but yeah, Wish You Were Here was my album. And then when Animals came out, I was convinced Pink Floyd was the greatest band ever. And then The Wall and the Final Cut came out, and it didn't hit me where I wanted it to hit me. The 12th band I fell in love with. We could go on for days, right? Because I'm only at like 1975 in my life here at number 12. It's Jethro Tull, and I've told the story before where I'm in the Brookfield Square Mall in Wisconsin, right outside Milwaukee. It's Christmas time. We're doing Christmas shopping, and I go into Spencer's Gifts, and in the back room there's a turntable, and they're playing this music, man, that I've never heard before. Real flute-dominated rock music. It was thick as a brick, and I went to the record store and bought it that day. And it's been one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite albums ever since. I love Jethro Tull. And you guys know that, but those are the 12 bands, the first 12 bands that I fell in love with that kind of set the stage for everything else that happened in my musical journey going forward. Just a couple bookkeeping notes here at the back end of this video. Don't buy the merch. All right, I got merch set up on the page, and I've been getting some negative reports about the quality. They're messing up the print. They're not even getting all the words in, man. They're messing it up big time. I had Jennifer Allen send me a picture of a t-shirt that she had purchased, and it was just awful. So don't buy the merch. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know when it's all clear to go ahead and order the merch from the page. I'll probably take it down because I don't want anybody, buying something, being upset at me. I got nothing to do with it, man. Also, we might have an announcement to make. I know a lot of you guys were really excited when I appeared on the Sea of Tranquility with Pete Pardo. Will I be coming back? Will there be a repeat performance? There'll be an announcement soon. Absolutely. And I'm really excited. Can't say anything about it yet. We got a couple exciting things actually going on that I'm not allowed to talk about. So that's really hard for me with that big mouth of mine. But anyway, boys and girls, peace in the Middle East, free Tibet, and you know what time it is. God save the king, save that king, save King Charles III. That boy needs some saving. Yes, he does. Save that king. Anyway, boys and girls, I will see you soon. I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow. Am I going to do a video? Am I not going to do a video? I don't know, but if I do, it'll probably be a review of the new Unitopia album, Seven Chambers, which is actually really, really good. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the hippity hoppity flippity floppity. Peace.